Hello and welcome everyone to Channel Chats. Today we're going to tackle a very relevant problem, which is the one of cloud adoption and its acceleration over the last few years, without always forgetting about following up with our security stack. To join us in this conversation, we will have Richard Dornhart from Data3 today, who is the security practice lead for Australia and New Zealand. Welcome, Richard, and thank you for being with us.
Good to see you, Riccardo. It's been a while.
Thank you, and thank you for being here today. Now, Richard, Data3 has been a long-standing partner of Palo Alto Networks, 10 years in the making, actually, and you are Diamond Innovator, and you also won our Growth Partner Award of the Year. So tell us a little bit about how Data3 sees this cloud transformation journey and how they can help.
Well, Riccardo, we're seeing significant movement to cloud. I think everybody's, taking that approach. I think for us, I think about where we were 10 years ago. It's incredible to be a partner for 10 years. And I actually started the practice 10 years ago. So Palo has been one of our strategic partners since then. Back then, it was all about technology. Today, I'm finding that it's very much about delivering outcomes. What we're seeing is a real value in delivering orchestrated technology, not in isolated deployments. And I think that's what cloud does bring to us. It allows us to provide an orchestrated approach to how we're delivering outcomes for customers. And, for us, what we're working on is de-risking that journey for customers. We've developed several repeatable processes to ensure that the security that we're delivering aligns to the business outcomes of the organizations. We want to simplify environments. We want to reduce technical debt in point products. And I think that's really important. Cloud actually does allow us to do that. Particularly when we're delivering security, because allowing us to orchestrate from the cloud is extremely important. So we want to shift from blockers to enabling strategic growth. We talk a lot at Data3 about the tech effect, and when technology is orchestrated properly, it really drives the investment that organizations are making.
It makes a lot of sense. And when you mention about the problem of point products and the fragmentation of the cybersecurity market, that's something that we have really taken ourselves at heart as a problem. And we have created the concept of platforms effectively, which is transforming these tools into functions of a common platform and making them deliverable and consumable in a much simpler way. To that point, I would say something like Secure Access Service Edge, which is a cloud-hosted service, and even the transformation of physical firewalls into virtualized instances to run in the cloud is a good place to start. Would you agree that that's also one of the areas where Data3 focuses a lot?
Absolutely. So we have a huge focus on cloud security, whether it's SASE architectures, whether it's helping organizations as they're moving into cloud. We do a lot of work with customers building landing zones, making sure those are secured. We don't want, oftentimes we're helping customers realize that that built-in security probably isn't enough. You really need to look at the third-party solutions that Palo Alto Networks provides in the cloud. That fragmentation piece, moving to that unified platform, it makes me think of something that we've done recently for a customer. It was an architecture. They had a problem. They had several sites within, within a state. They had remote branches, and they had third parties that they needed to deal with. So as we were working with that customer, that platform approach using Prisma SASE for connecting from an SD-WAN perspective, then using Prisma Access for several of those remote locations that maybe weren't big enough for a firewall, but still needed that security. We could pump them up to the cloud. And then they had the challenge of third parties. They had several third parties that needed to connect in, and Prisma Browser allowed them to do that in a really secure way, really simple way too, which I really think is amazing. But then with Strata Cloud Manager, we're able to bring all that together and that unified platform. And we can do that with the capability they have. We have a full Australian-based delivery capability. And people may not always think that Data3 has these services, but we have a huge amount of capability focused on delivering end-to-end protection, right from code to cloud. And the other thing that's super important, because I don't think you can have one of these conversations without talking about AI. We also are using, AI tech from Palo, things like Wildfire, so we can bring those real-time insights in to make sure we're keeping customers protected. And again, coming back to the tech effect, that's when, we bring all these platforms together, that amplifies the value for customers.
Beautifully said. And of course, AI is one of those things that we cannot avoid talking about. But in the context of platforms, it becomes very easy to add on to the same platform in a modular fashion, as opposed to spin up new products for the purpose of securing or using AI. Now, one more thing. You talked about technology, which was pretty much the conversation 10 years ago. But not every problem can be solved by just technology. We need also people and processes. And so when someone is thinking, okay, I can simplify my stack, I can run it in the cloud, but who's going to actually look at the screens? Who's going to manage this estate? Yeah. Is that something that L3 can help with?
It's our best kept secret, to be honest. We have a significant capability in the managed services space. I made an investment 5-6 years ago in a managed security services capability. As a business, we've been running managed services for many, many, many years. And, our focus has been on how do we reduce operational complexity. It's great. You can put, the platform, you can put tools in place, but oftentimes organizations don't have the capability to manage it on a 24/7 capability, on a 24/7 basis. So whether it's managed secure, managed SASE, managed firewall, or even doing things, managed endpoint detection and response with Cortex, that single platform approach allows us to amplify and simplify operations for a customer. And again, coming back to the tech effect, teams get burnt out. So being able to provide that sustained management 24/7 is incredibly important.
Thank you, Richard. And I would say now, is someone that is watching us now, an executive, let's say, that is thinking, I have this tech effect problem, I have a tech debt that I need to deal with. What do you think their first move should be at this point?
Well, I think the first thing is look at what you already have. What we find oftentimes is customers have made significant investments in technology, and let's make sure we're getting the maximum out of that investment. Second, we have a security assessment that we can run with organizations. We'll look at how they're aligned to NIST or other frameworks like ISO 27001. It helps us identify where the gaps are and the complexities are. So as I said, it's not about a rip and replace. It's about simplifying and aligning security to the business outcomes. And the results are clear. When we talk about a platform-led future, this is where security really accelerates transformation, and that's what the tech effect is.
Very good. So step number 1, assess where you are, find out your level of maturity, and then move towards a steady adoption of components of a platform as opposed to point products that will make your life more complex.
100%.
Very good. Thank you so much, Richard, for those insights. And for everyone watching us on the channel, thank you for your attention. And I'm sure that you'll get a lot of good insights from this conversation. And until next time, stay secure.